Hi, and welcome back to Thone's Nibbles number 173, covering part of Ephesians chapter 5, walking in love. I'm just picturing you could think of a good song about walking in love. Ephesians chapter 5, verses 1 through 5. Therefore, be imitators of God as dear children, and walk in love as Christ has loved us and given himself for us, an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling aroma. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not even be named among you, as it's fitting for saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor coarse jesting, which are not fitting, but rather giving of thanks. For these you know, that no fornicator, unclean person, no covetous man who is an idolater has any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and God. That's kind of telling it like it is, isn't it? Love versus evil, and if you think about it, it's a real earthly issue in the physical sense and in the emotional sense, but it's also a real heavenly issue in the spiritual sense. Love versus evil. Because there are spirit beings that hate, and there are spirit beings that love. Why is this in the Bible? Learning the innocent way of Jesus. It's written to all believers. The communications. Follow the path of innocence. It's so easy if you don't contemplate those evil things. You're not going to do them. And if we follow that innocent path, that is a path I am really, it's impractical to say I've never thought, about these things. I wish I hadn't. I wish I hadn't known anything about them, some of them. And that's the evil part. So why is this in the Bible? Learning the innocent way of Jesus. It's to all believers. And the communication is to follow the path of innocence. Just follow that path. It's a very, it's not the exciting, enticing path, but it's the path that we long for and we hope for. The application to my life. If we are serious about spiritual things, we should be engaged in a lifestyle which avoids the evils mentioned here, and also refrain from inappropriate humor or acts of silliness. Now, if any of my children and grandchildren are watching this, and perhaps they will be, they're going to get me on the innocent acts of silliness. I tend to be pretty silly with those that I love and playful with them. So perhaps you got me, guys. But that's what God tells us here, is that we need to be not foolish talking, not coarse jesting. So that says that we need to be careful. Be careful, little mouth, what you say, and be careful, little ear, what you hear, and all that. We need to have some forethought before breaking into a fit of humor. God says to me, follow the Lord first and foremost. My personal response, Lord, please help me to avoid situations in which humor against your character might endanger my witness. See, that's the dangerous area here. Being just blatantly silly when you're playing with your grandkids or something, that isn't what he's talking about here. He's talking about being silly at an inappropriate time, which will hurt our witness to others who are not yet saved. And that's so dangerous. That person, if someone says, well, that person doesn't even take anything seriously, so why should I listen to him or her for this important spiritual advice? It endangers our witness when we are thought of as a silly cut-up all the time. So that completes today's work, and we'll see you next time.